Hey guys, I'm so excited today because we have the incredible opportunity here at Without Wax to have a moment to speak with Mike Hyatt. His new book, Platform, is coming out this week. It's already out. In fact, I just found out it is number 16 overall on Amazon. Mike, that's unbelievable. It's tremendous.
I know, Pete. I'm so excited about it. And as I told you before we came on, I told the team if we could just get in the top 1,000, this today, I would be really thrilled with it. But to get to 16 is an unexpected blessing. So I'm thankful. I'm enjoying it.
It's incredible, and I'll be honest, I'm not surprised at all.
Hmm.
I've had the opportunity to read this book, and it is one of the most. I knew it would be practical because you are so good at just taking complex truths, like all the things you cover in Platform, and making them very simple.
Hmm.
But I was also surprised at just how inspirational it was.
Wow, thank you.
Because when I was reading through it, I wasn't thinking, oh gosh, I need to do this. I should be doing that better. I mean, as I was reading it, I was like, oh, this is exciting again. This is the whole reason I wanted to start a blog and I wanted to Twitter. And so it really renewed a passion for me personally.
Well, thank you. That means the world to me. Thanks.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So tell me a little bit, Mike, just about why you wrote this book.
Well, I mainly wrote it because I noticed about 10 years ago at Thomas Nelson, where I was most recently the CEO, that there was this disturbing trend where authors who had, brilliant ideas, really compelling proposals, great manuscripts even, we were with increasing frequency turning those people out into the cold. Because what I didn't realize is that while content was still king, platform had become queen. And unless you brought a platform to the table, you only had half the equation. So content's important, but you've got to have a way to connect to an audience.
That's so true. There's something you talked about. You talked about in the book the 3 benefits of building and networking your platform. And here are the 3 things that you said, and then I just want to kind of get your opinion on this. You said a platform provides visibility, a platform provides amplification, and a platform provides connection.
Yes.
Tell me just a little bit more about that.
Well, I often get asked, well, what is a platform? Well, a platform is that thing you stand on to be heard. And I mean, just think back to the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus stood on a mountain so he could be seen by all these people that were listening to him. And then it evolved into a stage, and now we have these big stages of steel and mountains of amplifiers and smoke and mirrors and all kinds of stuff. But today's platform is really made out of people. It's your fans, your followers, the people that are in your congregation, anybody that's willing to give you permission to speak into their lives. And so when I talk about the benefits, I do talk about visibility. It's a way to get your head above the crowd so that you can get your message noticed. And particularly for Christians who may be concerned about this isn't about you. It's about the message and about getting the message noticed. And we live in such a crowded world that if you don't be intentional about that visibility, you're just going to be ignored. And then the amplification, an amplification that gets your voice heard above the crowd so that people will notice you. And then the final element, which I think is so important today, is connection or engagement. It's no longer about a monologue, Pete, where somebody just, talks at people, but it's really about a dialogue. People today, particularly the younger generation, like my kids are, they want to be engaged. They want to know that there's a dialogue, that they're having a meaningful connection with the people who is speaking into their lives. And so that's one of the benefits, I think, one of the primary benefits of building a platform.
Yeah. And you really just hit on something I think is important because I know there's a lot of pastors that read my blog and a lot of people in different ministry positions. And there is often this tension when it comes to platform, when it comes to blogs, when it comes to Twitter, that we feel this like, are we promoting ourselves? Is this okay? Should we feel guilty about this? I know you and I have had many conversations about this. So how do you encourage people in ministry when it comes to building a platform?
Well, I think the very nature of the gospel demands that we announce it, that we publish it, that we make it known. This is not something that we can keep to ourselves. And the way it works is that that's necessarily carried through the expression of a preacher. We can't divorce the gospel. It just can't be sort of disincarnate or announced without somebody standing up and making the proclamation. Can that get unfounded or unhealthy notoriety? Yeah, I mean, even in the book of Acts, you had people falling down at the feet of the apostles and the apostles picking them up and saying, hey, we're just men. So, yeah, I think it can be unhealthy. But I think the key thing, Pete, is as long as we keep asking that question, we're in a good place. It should concern us. I've met very few people who can handle fame and handle it well. But at the same time, we can't, just go off into a corner and not proclaim and announce what we have been given so freely. We have to do that.
Yep. So it's not really, the platform is not the issue. Heart is the issue.
Yes.
So it's only as good as the people who use it. And just a little personal plug for you here, Mike. I have watched you in such an unbelievable, humble way and with incredible integrity really master the art of the platform to use it as a place for you to tell people about what God's doing in your life. And so you've been a great example really to all of us on how to do that.
Well, thank you very much.
Let me ask you one more question. You talk in the book quite a bit about this idea of two things being important: a compelling product and a significant platform. And this might not be a fair question, but if you had to choose, what do you think is most important, a compelling product or this significant platform?
Well, that's actually a pretty easy question for me because I still go back to the product. Content is king. In fact, I quote in the book this quote from David Ogilvy, who was an advertising pioneer, who said, "Great marketing only makes a bad product fail faster," which is true. In an age of word of mouth, and particularly when word of mouth is leveraged through social media like we have today, that if you don't have a great product or a service or a cause or a ministry, people are just going to find out faster, and it's going to be a mess when they find out. So I would much rather spend time and get the product right first. And in fact, as you know, the whole first section of the book is about that, starting with wow. I think you've got to get that right before the marketing makes sense and is going to be effectual.
Yep. This book is full of so many just practical tips, and one of the things you talk about kind of towards the end is embracing some of the different things out there that really support our platform. We talk quite a bit about Twitter and how to use it effectively. Not to put you on the spot, but I know that you're an early adopter. You tend to kind of be looking out into the future. If you had to pick a platform or a supporting platform that's out there on the horizon these days, is there one that kind of just really stands out to you?
Well, I don't know about something that's going to be in the future like Pinterest. That's getting a lot of acclaim right now. I use it, but not for much, to be honest. I still think Facebook is kind of where it's at. I get most of my traffic from there. Frankly, I spend most of my time on Twitter just because it's a lot easier than Facebook, which tends to be confusing, and they're changing things constantly. But I think you just got to go where the people are. And I think, by the way, that's kind of the gospel imperative too. I mean, from the beginning of the Great Commission, go therefore and make disciples. So I think as people that are in ministry, that are serious about our ministry and about getting the message out, we've got to watch where people are congregating and make sure we're there to announce the good news wherever they want to be.
Yeah, I could not agree more. And Mike, I just want to end on that note and tell whether you're a pastor, a youth pastor, children's pastor, you're in a communication role on staff, whether you're a stay-at-home mom and you have a message that God's put on your heart, regardless of what you do, if there's something that you're wanting to express and share with this watching world, and I think all of us as followers of Christ should have something we want to share, I really, really, really want to encourage you guys to pick up this book. There is not a more practical, inspirational book out there on how to build a platform. Nothing that even compares. And so, Mike, we are going to be grateful to you for a very long time for writing this book and giving it to us as an incredible resource. So thanks for your work on this.
Thanks for your friendship, Pete. Means the world to me.
You bet.